And welcome back to Sin and Finn, the Dugout Decision Show.
And the Blue Jays just won a series, but not only did they win it, they swept the Boston Red Sox, which is absolutely incredible. It's our first series sweep since the start of the season against the Oakland A's. And Jays fans, it's felt like a very long time, and it has been. It just has been. Lots of like series wins and then series losses, and then at the end of the road, you're kind of just at the same part that you started at. You know what I mean? Like there's not really much separation either way, for good or for bad. And so that's what sweeps do. Whether you get swept or whether you sweep,
Yeah.
it like provides a lot of momentum. And so there's a lot of momentum here. It's awesome to see the Blue Jays go on a three-game win streak, which is just sounds so small, but we haven't been able to pile wins together like we could last year and just go on a heater. And so it was great to go to Boston and have our pitching do well. Our bullpen was absolutely incredible, and we'll get to that. But also, we kind of hit for some pop, man. We kind of hit some bombs. It was fun to
Yeah.
watch, and some critical players for this Blue Jays team that have not been performing well of late come up big. And here we go. Here we go. I'm amped up. Let's go, Aiden.
I mean, dude, the Red Sox are just horrific. Like, I want to be amped up, but we're just facing a terrible baseball team. Like, I can't believe I'm saying it, but they're just genuinely awful.
Yeah.
You have some of the numbers later that we're going to talk about with like the runners in scoring position. We thought the Jays were bad with runners in scoring position. No, they took it to a new level. The Red Sox are horrible, and I don't know why. To be honest, like I feel like they should be better. I guess some of their young guys are just not performing or injured all the time. But like, dude, from the Bogart stuff, the Devers stuff, the Bet stuff, now they're not performing with these young guys. Like I kind of feel bad for that fan base, but maybe I don't because we've also gone through our fair share of struggles. So yeah, no, I guess I don't. But as much as they are horrific, that's what you got to do with bad teams. Like we're not doing that. Like think back to earlier in the year when we're losing a series to the Rockies and all the other series that didn't go well for us. Well, this is what you got to do against bad teams. Okay, you go into a stinking Boston team, you sweep a series. Amazing. Second sweep of the year. One game back of 500. This is what you have to do. Get back to a wild card spot, build some momentum a little bit. Because again, how many times have we been saying 2 steps forward, 3 steps back? 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Look at the
Kevin
Yankees
Dawson
here.
said it.
Yeah, even he said it. If the players are saying it, I feel like it's pretty indicative of what's going on, right? So we saw it with the Yankee series, right? Look at the great showing Friday night. You collapse and you score like 2 runs in the next 2 games. It's just horrible, and you can't hit with runners in scoring position. So great to see. Who better to start with? And you know what? I'm going to do it right now with Brandon Valenzuela off of
Oh,
Roldis Chapman in the ninth inning of today's game, 3-3. Yeah, Trey Savage got into a little bit of trouble at the end there. Doesn't matter. We scored a run top 9 against Chapman, who's been unbelievable this year. I think he had a .4 ERA coming into this game. 9 pitch at bat for Valenzuela. Gets a double, 51-degree launch angle. I don't know how he pulled that off. Fought off that at bat. 100 miles an hour. He drives in a run. Blue Jays go on to win. I don't know what more to say about the guy. He's an absolute freak at the plate. Tyler Heineman, I'm sorry. You did a lot for this team, but Brandon Valenzuela is the better player, and I'm so happy he's on this team with Alejandro Kirk right now.
yeah. And that move is coming up huge already. I mean, just no
Yeah.
shot Tyler Heineman does this. And all respect to Tyler Heineman, and we will get to you later, Tyler. Our
Yeah.
condolences to you joining the LA Angels now. And so, huge at bat. Absolutely huge. I
Yeah.
would say the biggest of the season, and so would many other Jays fans, just because of the optics of things. I was doing a lot of driving today and listening to the radio, and the Jays got a great radio system there with Ben Shulman, and um, like it just I thought it was an easy win, an easy sweep, and I
Yeah.
think so did many Jays fans. Even though we were only up by three. It's like 3-0 and then like 3-1 and I was like, okay, that's okay though. Like I know our bullpen is tapped, but like Trey Savage looks pretty decent. So we'll kind of coast here and get the sweep, right? And then he gives up 2 home runs. We'll get to that. We will. But like from there, I was like, man, if you lose this game, that is just another backbreaker. Another one where you have it. it seems like an easy win. You lose it from your grip, and then you just get the loss. And you just could not do that in this series against the Boston Red Sox, which really felt like you had full control, even though the box scores may not show that, and they were relatively close games. Felt like the Blue Jays had control of this series. Um, Not going to talk about this guy much in the series. Holy crap, Wilson Contreras. Wow, what an awful series. And
Oh
so
my god.
like just spamming sliders away and away and away. And I thought that like his at bats were very indicative of the whole series. Like just we were in control. Well, we just felt like we
Yeah.
were in control. Doesn't mean we were dominant, just felt like we had full control over the series. And to lose that control in the last game was brutal. And then Brandon Valenzuela and a 9 pitch at bat against one of the best closers in my lifespan. And in this year as well. 0.84, you said, just insane. And we'll get to the statistics of this hit here because I think it's insane. I just thought the statistics I was looking at were insane. And so if you're watching the game, you see Brandon Valenzuela hit a decent fly ball to left field. Any fly ball to left field in Fenway Park has a potential to go out because of the Green Monster and because of Fenway
Yeah.
Park and so it wasn't hit like very hard at all. It was just like a high fly ball. So I said, Aiden, what's the launch angle on that? Aiden says 51 degrees. Holy smokes. That's like a pop-up. That's a
Yeah.
very high fly ball. So I was like, what is the expected batting average on this hit? I look at Baseball Savant. It's a point zero one. Point zero one. That's worse than
Oh.
Nathan Lucas with vertigo,
Oh
worse than
my
Davis
god.
Schneider before the Red Sox series. That's
Ugh.
like, wow, that is horrendous. So I was like,
Ugh.
what? A .01 expected batting average? What's going on here? Nathan Lucas's bunt pop out had a higher expected batting average than Brandon
Oh.
Venezuela's game-winning double. Like that just baffles my mind. Anyways, stats are awesome, and sometimes they can be kind of fluky. This time it just is incredible, and I just love that so much, and
Oh
love
my
that for the
god.
Blue Jays. Absolutely huge, and Valenzuela won the Jays a game just like he's done so many times this year.
The Boston Red Sox kid, not to pull a Jake
Awesome.
Storielli from Todd John Boy or whatever. I mean, dude, we talk about the Jays' luck this year, which granted has been pretty horrible. I'm sorry, what is their luck also? Like, look at in that at bat as well when Valenzuela, I think it was Connor Wong behind the plate who dropped a pop up. I know it was windy, but still, guys are making catches there. Caleb Durbin's just not going for the ball. Like, the ball's right there for the third baseman. He's just not moving. So, like, I don't know what their luck is in 2026, but again, take advantage of these kind of teams. Like, that's what you have to do. And then when you look at the schedule that's coming up here, like, this is the time we kind of said going towards the end of June. You would think on paper coming into the year, this is going to be one of the tougher stretches. I kept saying coming into the season, watch out for June. June's going to be tough. I might want to check that again. I want to check that again because, again, these teams they're coming up against are just not good. Red Sox, terrible. I'm sorry, Astros, just not good this year. Like, what pitching do they have? Genuinely, what pitching is there? They had Spencer Arrighetti, and he's terrible now. The Rangers, like I thought maybe could be a playoff team, but they're just 500 all the time. They got Corey Seager. I don't know what else is going on there. And then the Mets, who just been terrible. Like they're kind of getting it together a little bit. Like Bo's heating up a little bit, but these are not teams you're scared of. The one who maybe out of all those teams you're thinking about a little bit is the Cubs, the series we're going to next. But still, Chicago Cubs in 2026 are not what I thought they were going to be. I thought they could easily run away with the NL Central. The Brewers are just going to brewer. I'm realizing, like, we just have to realize that year in, year out, they're just always going to win games. Doesn't matter how many big players the Cubs have. PCA kind of going on a tear lately. And of course, it gets a cycle immediately picked off. Like, what a PCA thing. But I'm just not worried about these teams like I thought I would be coming into the year. It's just not, it doesn't give me that same feeling. I don't know where you stand with these teams, but it feels like you're kind of moving to an easier part of the schedule, something I didn't think we'd be saying this time of year. And again, build some momentum. You're one game back of 500. Can we finally get over that 500 mark? We did it with the Orioles, I think, right? Where we got to 500 and then immediately just collapsed and lost 2 games. Then you go to the Braves, you lose 2 games. So can this finally be the stretch where you get over 500? maybe build a little momentum and get maybe 4 games over, 5 games over. Start to feel like a team that is able to win and to actually compete in this division. Because I'm sorry, the Yankees are running away with it right now. As much as I know what we did last year, 10-game win streak, we were able to come back right around this time last year and beat them. Dude, they're like 20 games over almost at this point. Like it's looking a little bit unattainable to try and get back to beat them. And you don't need to win the division. I know I said 100 wins coming into the season. That's great and all, but at least make it a fight. Because right now they weren't really up to this point showing any fight or any sense of getting even close to the Rays of all teams. They couldn't even get to the Rays in second place. So I'm just hoping, I don't know where you are with these teams, but I'm just hoping this is the easier part of the schedule where, listen, if you've got like 15 in games, just give me like a 10-5 stretch, something like that. I don't know how many games exactly it is, but say it's 15. At minimum, you need like a 10-5.
Yeah, yeah. At the minimum, you have to be over 500. At the
Yeah,
very minimum.
yeah,
And you cannot afford to play against bad teams like you did at the start of the season. Just like roll over and not do anything against bad teams. You can't
yeah.
afford to do that. This is the part of the schedule you got to take advantage of, right? And so you've faced some pretty difficult teams recently. The New York Yankees, that the Blue Jays have faced a lot. And then the O's are like an okay team. They can hit though, like that they're not like an awful team, right?
Yeah.
And so um like just a lot of different teams like that. And now you have the break in the schedule, which is really nice. And even with the Cubs, we'll get to the pitching matchups later, but they're pretty much in our favor. Like it's not like, oh my goodness, like this is an instant loss, right? It's like we could battle against these guys and turn out a win. It's yeah, it's not like we're facing Cam Schlittler against like Patrick Corbin or something
Oh,
like that, right? So
yeah.
um, yeah, so Blue Jays definitely have a chance in the Cubs series. They're nothing special. They're very inconsistent and they have a lot of good players, but I feel like they don't meet the potential that's there. Alex Bregman has not been Alex Bregman
Oh,
last year, and PCA is like an MVP candidate, but
yeah.
outside of those two guys, like Seiya Suzuki, not the same guy as last year.
Nope.
Anyways, this isn't a Cubs hate pod, but just an inconsistent. Um, Stretch from the Cubs really all year. And so, yeah, it's huge to get this sweep, huge to get momentum going into these next few series. And just going to our next hitter here, the guy who, like, we were kind of joking, like, oh, Davis Schneider and Fenway, let's see what's going to happen, right? He just hit a home run against New York to finish that series. And yeah, let's see what's going on here, right? And so, Dave Schneider just went insane. Like it was nuts. And it's so awesome that he's doing this. I feel great for the guy. He got sent down, and some fans will forget he got sent down like a week ago. Like two no, like 2, 3 weeks ago. And
Yeah.
was in the minors say like a week ago. Like it was pretty low. It was pretty low there for a while. His batting average was abysmal. And so yeah, he comes back up and kind of looks like more the same, right? It didn't really look like a whole different Davis Schneider. A few games later, really takes off against the Yankees. And since that last game of the Yankees series, he's gone 5 for 11. Excellent. 3 for 8 in the Red Sox series. And holy smokes, like that home run he hit over the Green Monster was crushed. Was
Yeah.
absolutely crushed. I think it went out of the whole ballpark. So, and then he had a few doubles, I think. Like he's been a hits machine. And if he can keep this going for the Blue Jays, that would be a huge boost.
Is it just me or we really don't have like a power righty off the bench aside from him? It's pretty much Miles Straw, right? Like we're struggling to find power from the right side. It's constantly the talking. How many
Vladdy,
lefties?
we'll get to you.
We'll get to you, but I'm hoping Vlad's not a bench player. Right? Like I
Yeah,
hope
bench
we don't
player.
get
Yeah.
into that territory. But pretty much it's Miles Straw, who you're relying on as a defensive replacement. And oh, Lenine Sosa was there for a little bit. Oh, big Lenine Sosa in 2026. At some point, I guess he's going to come back. Oh, his rehab is actually delayed more than Addison Barger's, who's already delayed. Like, we're going to have Lenine Sosa come back in like August with Anthony Santander. They're going to come back together from the Dominican or whatever. It's going to be so funny to watch. But again, we have no power from the right side coming off the bench aside from him. He has to be the one because we're constantly talking about Pinango's there and Lucas is there and Sanchez. And when Barger comes back and all these lefties, we're struggling to find power off the bench. First of all, we're struggling to find power from the right side. It's starting to come together a little bit. Like you said, we'll get to Vlad, we'll get to Springer, some of these other guys, but we need power from the right side aside from Okamoto. right? Like pretty much the guy that was doing it there, the only guy for a couple of weeks. I don't need Davis Schneider to be an everyday player. He doesn't need to do that. And in fact, given this roster, when you look at it on paper, he shouldn't be a starter unless he's batting like 350 or something. He doesn't need to be a starter on this team. Be the power righty that can hit the lefties off the bench. That's what he did last year. After he got sent down last year, had like an 860 OPS against lefties, was mashing them. That's all you need him to do. And it seems like he always just needs this reset when he goes to AAA. I don't know why. He went to AAA and had like a 700 on base or something. He was just walking every other at bat. Like, again, that is great and all. Remember, we talked about that. That's great to have the on base, but you're not hitting the baseball, right? If you're just walking every single time. They wanted him to be more aggressive. I mean, it's showing. Like you said, that shot he hit over the monster was killed. There is serious power in that baseball bat. Maybe he unlocks like 20 feet extra off the bat when he goes to Fenway because he really likes that park. But nonetheless, he has the power in there. Again, don't got to be a 20 home run hitter in a season. Fine. You can be a really good platoon bat. The Jays love to do platoons. This isn't a new thing. They love to do platoons. Be that guy off the bench that can absolutely mash lefties, and he's doing it right now. Maybe Fenway woke him up, and hopefully he can continue it, and doesn't have to get sent down again. I hope he's with the team the rest of the season and can just mash lefties.
Yeah, yeah, and it seems like sending down players to AAA and then bringing them back up like really does something. Like not
Except
only
for
David
Brendan Little.
Schneider.
Except for Brendan Little.
Okay, Brendan Little, we will see if he comes back up,
Yeah.
but Royce Lewis is going
Yeah.
insane. He's like back to kind of how he should have been before he got demoted.
Yep.
And I feel like Teoscar Hernandez back in the day, like 2018, 19-ish, 2019, I
Yep.
think, demoted, came back up. Since then, he's won like three Silver Sluggers, like just insane story. So, seems like everyone really outside of Alek Manoah's demotion in
Oh,
2023, I think it was,
wow.
has really panned out. So, great to see Davis performing this way. Hopefully, he sustains it over a longer period of time, so we don't have to demote him again, and we can just see him have a great rest of the season. He had a great season last year. I mean, this was a guy who was batting leadoff in the World Series.
Yeah.
Like what he went back to back with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. against Blake Snell in the World Series. Like
Yeah.
what? So David Schneider, yeah, as you said, we need a righty bench bat. We desperately need a righty bench bat. So please be that, Davis. You're gonna be given a chance here to win that role. So we don't have to acquire a guy over the trade deadline. I assume the Blue Jays will be somewhat aggressive. They have a lot of guys coming off the books. Gosman, Bieber, Springer, like those are a lot of guys. So I assume the Blue Jays will buy if they're somewhat close, and and if Davis can't perform up to the level they expect, then they'll have to add a righty onto the list right next to Tarek Skubal. So so
Jeez.
we'll see about Skubal, but it'd be
Yeah.
huge if Davis could perform well and not only against lefties but even against righties, so we can slot him in there against both.
Yeah, because against the Yankees, his home run, it was off a righty, wasn't it? I think like Jake Bird or something, one of those
And
guys out
then
of the
Peyton
pen.
Tolle in the second one.
Yeah. I mean, he's hitting both sides. That's what you need to see from the guy, right? Just be aggressive because he's always very patient and he has good reason to be patient because he's so good with the strike zone, right? And with that ABS system. Like, again, that's great and all, but I want to see a little bit of thump out of there. You're not just going to rely on MLB pitchers to walk you every single time, right? Or just get the challenge system right. So good to see that. And then another guy we got to get to here. Finally, the drought is over. I don't know exactly how many games it was, but the first time since May 17th. You know what? Actually, June 17th was yesterday. So this is a month and a day since we had a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. home run, and it finally happened today. Didn't hit it over the monster like the other guys. I don't think it went like 410 feet, something like that. But regardless, hit a home run. We can do the discussion about the All-Star game and the All-Star voting. Yes. Should he be ahead of Ben Rice? No, of course he shouldn't be. Of course he shouldn't. Ben Rice has been unbelievable this year. Nick Kurtz should be ahead of him as well. There's a lot of guys. Christian Walker on the Astros. It goes on and on. Should he be an all-star? Probably not. Even as a Blue Jays fan, you see all this Blue Jays stuff behind me. I'm still saying it. Vlad should not be an all-star. He's going to get there because of name value. I understand the voting system. Yeah, we can get to that. It's not a great system. But regardless, I don't care so much about that. I just want production on this baseball team, right? I remember we actually said this a couple weeks ago. I don't care about All-Star game and all that. I just need to be producing for this Blue Jays team. Okay, 3 for 12 in the series. 3 for 8 in his last 2 games. Still a couple of struggles. Like I think it was game 1 of the series. Was it against Jake Bennett or actually it might have been Tolley where it was like a 2-2 count? Just takes a fastball right down the middle. Like a couple of runners on there and you're just taking right down the middle. Still lacking some of those signs of the aggression that I just talked about with Schneider. Like you can't be taking, I don't care, 95, 96. You can't be taking that right down the middle with 2 strikes. That's like little league stuff that they teach, right? You got to fight with 2 strikes, anything around the plate. That's right down the middle. So there's still signs, obviously, he's still battling through it. But what do we keep saying? The one home run. He needs one hard hit ball, one ball to get sent over the wall, and he's going to figure it out. Does this mean Vlad's unlocked something? I don't know. I just really hope he takes us into the Cubs series. I'm not saying he has to hit 3 home runs in that Cubs series. I'm not saying he has to go 5 for 8 in a series with a couple of doubles. No, hit the baseball hard. It's a starting point, right? Hit the baseball hard. I'm hoping this home run can unlock something. Finally got when he's up to 4 on the year. Look at Vlad go, 4 home runs on the season. What a guy. I'm just hoping he can continue this against the Cubs because it was a good sign to see at least.
Yeah, and it really started yesterday for me to notice him to be a little better at the plate, right? And yesterday was Jake Bennett, who wasn't the best pitcher I've ever seen, and I
Nope.
think we should have added a few more runs to that.
Yeah.
But we chased a lot. We chased so much against Jake Bennett. Like it was very frustrating watching Alejandro Kirk chase quite a bit yesterday, and even some other Jays batters. Anyways. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. did not chase a lot yesterday. That was something I noticed quite a bit. He laid off a lot of competitive pitches, and that was really the first step to really to really like get started here. Like you can't be who you want to be if you're just chasing pitches everywhere. You cannot
Yeah.
do that. The first thing you got to do is just not swing at those competitive pitches that you have been swinging at. And he chased 1 time yesterday out of 7 swings, a lot better, a lot better. And it was noticeable when I was watching him. And so, was the quality of contact right where you wanted it to be? No. Like he had that single at the end, the opposite field, but it was just like a light ground ball, and he was very amped about it to just at least get a hit. But it was
Yeah.
not ideal quality of contact, and even um, like the rest of the game, it was like a fastball down the middle, hit right into the dirt. But like his plate discipline was a big one for me just watching yesterday's game. And so you get to today, and first pitch home run, just huge off Sonny Gray, who's a decent pitcher even now in 2026. And yeah, it wasn't the best swing in the world. It looked pretty funky. It looked like my golf swing, which is not pretty at all. And
Ugh.
so, but as you said, hit it like 410 feet. I mean, if it works, it works. And I think in the next at bat, he hit a ball right into the dirt on a fastball. But there's more signs than there were before that he's starting to heat up. Before we really couldn't see anything, which was the tough part, right? He's chasing more than ever, and the quality of contact is not non-existent. At least now it's starting to look like he's saying no to those competitive pitches, and some of the quality of contact's coming back. Like it's piece by piece, baby steps, Blue Jays fans. And man, if this guy could get hot when we're about to face some of these teams who don't have like the best pitching in the world, I don't know if we're facing Edward Cabrera. Edward Cabrera has not looked good at all. Many other Cubs pitchers are not very good. So like tee off against them. And then same thing with the other teams, the Houston Astros and the New
No.
York Mets, teams
Oh.
with not great starting pitching or even relievers. And so get hot, get hot. It would be awesome to see Vladdy get hot as we enter summer, as we get hopefully Barger back relatively soon. And it seems like Jimmy Garcia as well. We'll get to those guys, but as it seems like we're getting to full strength and then Vladdy starts to heat up, I think that would be a really great situation for the Jays.
And who's the other guy that has to go with Vlad? It's Mr. Springer. Springsy lad. He's the guy has to get going alongside Vlad. Those are your two guys at the top of the lineup, right? And we're talking about does Springer become a part-time player? Maybe not part-time player, but like 4 out of 6 games, 4 to 5 games kind of thing. And how much do you play the guy? Well, again, shutting us up a little bit here, the way he's swinging it the last little bit. I think they said coming into the Red Sox series that in his last 17 at bats or plate appearance, something like that, he had 7 walks, like coming into the series. Great plate discipline. How he did in terms of the walks in this Red Sox series, I'm not sure, but he was 4 for 10 in the series, has a 667 slug in his last 7 days with a 333 average. Home run over the monster, just like Schneider in game one as well, like absolutely launched at the end of that game to give you a little bit of insurance. Yeah, unfortunately, the guy that came into the game to close it out couldn't actually do it and hold a 5-run lead. We'll get to that later. But again, you get the insurance, which is huge to get because I think it was like 4-1 or 4-0 at that point. He gets it to 6 runs, huge to see. I want this guy in the leadoff spot, man. Like when we keep saying, okay, move him down to 5 or 6 and try and figure things out. Well, really, the best way for this lineup to work is just having him at the top and mashing, right? Because he's a DH and we don't expect him to be in the field. And when I start to hear rumblings of, well, maybe he has to play right field a little bit, get him into left field a little bit, so we can get Valenzuela stick in there, Pinango stick in there. George, just start hitting, and this makes it a lot easier. We don't have to have this discussion, right? If you're hitting, so the signs are there for him to continue this. The plate discipline looking way better. He's attacking the ball way more. It was starting to look, and again, I know we don't want to talk about 2024 a lot, but when you think back to about a month ago, it was looking like that a little bit in the sense that he just could not ambush the fastball. Like he just could not do it. And you think back to last year, what's the big home run he hits against the Mariners? It's 96 down and in that he's turning on, right? Like ambush the fastball. That's what you have to do as a major league hitter. He's starting to do it again. He's hitting the curveballs for power, hitting the fastballs for power. This is what we need out of George. Again, how many times have we said you don't have to be the 960 OPS guy, the 130 OPS plus guy? No, you don't have to be. But the signs are there after, again, like a 580 OPS or 600 OPS, whatever. He's pushing 700 now. So he's doing something right to get his numbers up there. And again, like you said, against these weak pitchers coming up, if him and Vlad can get going, I think this offense can really take off as a whole.
Yeah, it seems like the exit velo is coming back as well. And
Yeah.
I'm sure if you look at George Springer's Savant page that um, the average exit velo won't be great, that the hard hit percentage won't be great. And so seeing him hit balls hard and with a good plate approach, as I said with Vladdy, very encouraging. The plate approach thing, extremely encouraging. If you see guys not chasing and locking in more, the quality of contact will come, but like if you're still striking out chasing pitches, like it just won't come. So super encouraging to see that. And like I just think he's getting the barrel to the baseball more often. Like
Yeah.
he like I think it was like a few weeks ago, a month ago, he was popping up the baseball at a career high rate.
Oh,
And so just means you're not right on the baseball. Maybe you're over it or under it. And the new baseball savant stats will tell you more about that, seeing like the distance between the bat and the baseball, which I think is super cool on a swing. But he just wasn't barreling up the baseball. And so a lot of pop-ups. So probably means he was getting under it. And um, yeah, it just wasn't very good to watch it. Like same thing with Vladdy, just not a lot of hard contact, a lot of chases, and now both of these guys kind of unlocking it at the same time. Great for the Blue Jays. Wonder if there's some mechanical thing that they kind of like took on together because I think they're both kind of going through the same struggles. So shout out David Popkins, one of the best in the game for helping these two hitters who have done it many times before. Just lock back in and hopefully do it for an extended period of time here.
well, again, we talked about Vlad and the fact that he has like his own training staff, right? And an own sort of like hitting crew. So is he listening to Pop? Maybe. Like maybe he actually listened to Pop before today's game and then figured it out and hit a home run. I hope it's as simple as that. Because at some point, it's not about, oh, you're the $500 million guy, or even Springer in that case, $150 million guy, like both heavily paid, obviously, in their careers and big names and superstars. Just listen to the hitting coach. The hitting coach is there for a reason. He's also getting paid big bucks for a reason. And you've seen him actually help some of the other guys on the team. So just listen to him. And I'm hoping that's what they did. And that's the reason why they're starting to go a little bit. Like I said, and like we've said all along, as long as these two guys are going, the offense has a good chance to compete with the best in the game. Truthfully, when you look at some of the other guys down the lineup, Ernie, he's going to poke balls to the opposite field, poke balls all over the field. That's just what he does. He's not going to hit for power, but he knows he's going to be a 300 hitter or somewhere around there. He's going to get hits. Jesus Sanchez can provide a little bit of pop. Kaz Okamoto, he's going to provide the pop. Look at what Valenzuela and Kirk, but that tandem is going to start to do with the catching. This can round into a very formidable lineup in the American League, which again, we keep talking about is very weak. There really is not, aside from the Yankees now, they're starting to separate themselves. And we said at some point, someone's going to do it. Like, not everyone is just going to stay 500 the whole year. Yankees are kind of taking off, but aside from them, nobody's really taking off. With Vlad and Springer going, pair them with the other guys in the lineup. This is your chance. Get the lineup going. The way the pitching's been going, this is the chance for the team to start clicking. Speaking of the pitching, though, let's get to a guy that started in today's game. Starting pitching outside of today was a little up and down. Obviously, we had the Dylan Cease game. Not going to talk about that too much. Just another one of those Dylan Cease games you kind of have to get through. It's like 105 pitches just to get through 5 innings, and it's rough. It's the Dylan Cease experience. He's going to strike out 7 to 8 guys, struggle to get through 5 at times. That's just what he does because he's going to fire his fastball into the ground, but it's okay. I think it was 5 scoreless, right? So if it's 5 scoreless, 7 strikeouts, fine. His ERA is down to like 2.7 on the year. The guy today, though, that really desperately needed a bounce back start after the last 4 or 5 start stretch he had was Trey Savage. Trey Savage was unbelievable in today's game until the 8th inning when he made 2 pitches that were kind of quote unquote mistakes, if you want to call them that, to IKF. And I think it was Caleb Durbin, the other guy. IKF and Caleb Durbin, of course, are the 2 guys that get to him. But aside from that, 7 1/3 innings, 6 strikeouts, and the biggest aspect of this was no walks. I couldn't believe it, actually, because I didn't see the whole game when you actually wrote this down. No walks in this baseball game. After we talked about the command and the struggle that it's been for Trey to get that command down, he had games where he was walking 6 guys, 7 guys, averaging almost 8 walks per 9 in his last 4 or 5 starts. That's just uncompetitive. You cannot do that at the Major League Baseball level. Huge to see him not do that. Again, the only 2 blemishes at the end, a couple of pitches there. Huge for him to have this. Yes, are the numbers going to reflect it? Not really. It's still like a 3.7 ERA because he gave up those tanks. But huge to see him get through 7 1/3. I think this is officially his longest start in MLB, including the postseason. Huge to see him have that length when the bullpen was so banged up. And again, 6 strikeouts, 7 1/3 innings, really helped the Jays win the series and sweep the series again against the Sox today.
Yeah, great point there. Didn't even think of that. His longest start and
Yeah.
up with the Blue Jays, like just in general.
Yeah.
Super cool stuff. And it's bigger than the box score in this case for myself. Like you just have so many guys unavailable today. Like literally
Yeah.
the whole bullpen. You go through the list here. So start with SWR. He's out. He pitched a bunch yesterday. Spencer Miles out. He pitched quite a bit. Louis Varland back-to-back days. Jeff Hoffman back-to-back days. Tyler Rogers back-to-back days. I think that leaves Chad Dallas, Mason Fluharty, and Tommy Nance.
Oh,
And they went with 2 of those guys. But that
yeah.
just means like, man, you cannot like do what you've done the past few outings where you got no command at all. No command at all. And so it was just huge, like the length standpoint, the 7 1/3 innings pitched, absolutely huge. Did he give up the 2 home runs at the end? Yes, but that is more like that. That's just something that's bigger than the box score. Like it helps them tomorrow when they face the Cubs. It just kind of helps the whole stretch of games, just because you did what we needed you to do, and you did more. You went 7 1/3 innings, pitched into the 8th inning. Like wow. So shout out Trey. Yeah, his command's been brutal in these past few starts, and before this start, it was his past 2 out of 3 uh, starts. He had given up 6+ walks, which is just you can't do that. So his command has been very bad, and also his strikeout percentage like wasn't where you would expect. Before this start, it was 23%. And so you can't have that bad of command if you don't strike out guys, right? Like
Yeah.
Dylan Cease's command, not great. Dylan Cease strikes out a lot of guys, right? Strikes out a ton of guys, probably strikes out the most in the AL. So
Yep.
there you can live with it. You can live with 5 innings, but he allowed 0 runs and 7 Ks, whatever, because it's Dylan Cease and he strikes out guys to end innings and get out of jams. With Trey, if you're not striking out guys, you got to locate the baseball. If
Yeah.
you're not locating the baseball, you got to strike out guys, right? And if you're not doing both of those, which is what he wasn't doing before this start, it's bad. And it was bad then. And so a few different red flags there. But good to see Trey answer that with 6 strikeouts and no walks. That's kind of like a double whammy there. And also the
Yeah.
length, very efficient, very efficient. I think he went into the eighth inning with what, like high 80s, low 90 pitch count. Like it was still pretty decent. It wasn't like he was going 100, 110 like Dylan Cease would in the fifth inning. Like he was actually very efficient, which is also a great sign. So aside from the home runs, which was also like a huge part of the game, tied up the game. I'm more encouraged by the strikeouts, the no walks, and the length that Trey Savage provided.
And doesn't have to be the ace on this team, right? For years to come. He doesn't have to feel that pressure of I got to be the number one. I have to be the best guy in this rotation. You got guys at the top that are the big dogs for a reason. Figure it out, and you can be a really good number three, number four. Like if Shane Bieber comes back, this guy can be a really good number four. It's kind of scary to think the depth of this rotation. Again, if we could have just had some of the other guys stay healthy, like a Ponce and Barrios, and again they're injured, so we don't really talk about them too much. But when you get a Bieber back and you Savage as your four, like that 1 through 4, Gosman, Cease, Bieber, you Savage, that's pretty good. I like my odds against some of the other American League teams. Yeah, I know the Yankees got Cole and they got Rodon and Fried's going to come back eventually. And oh, yeah, Cam Schlittler's there and Will Warren and Weathers. Yeah, they got a lot of guys too. But
Disgusting. Oh my goodness.
I mean, that is a lot of good guys, yes. But again, if our offense can get going, look at what we did to some of these guys last year, right? Beat up on Rodon, beat up on Schlittler, beat up on Fried, and our pitcher shut the Yankees down. So the recipe is there to beat those kind of guys. Now, Garrett Cole is different. We didn't face him last year. I still like our odds against him. But still, again, rounding this team out when you finally get Bieber back, Vlad and Springer start going, you can start to see the vision a little bit of how this team can start competing. So huge for Trey to get that going. Just like you said, figure out the command. Going forward in all your starts, you don't need to throw 7 innings every single time. We talked about the workload as well coming into the year. There's a reason why Trey didn't start on opening day with the team because they were trying to ease the shoulder a little bit. Yes, the efficiency was good. He only threw 90 or whatever, some pitches today, maybe 95 pitches. It wasn't 115, whatever, like you said, like Dylan Cease. Still 7 innings. It is taxing. It is a long day at the office. Give me 5, 6 every time out, right? And just limit the walks and start racking up the punchies. Because again, that splitter that he has, I mean, that splitter can be devastating. So just figure out how to command that, get that below the zone, and you'll start racking up the punchies. Speaking of pitching, though, let's go to the bullpen. You touched on it a bit. Some of the guys that we didn't have available for today's game. That would have been crazy to see Cheddar Cheese Dallas come into this game at the end there. I mean, we had Tommy Nance come in, but Cheese Dallas was pretty much ready to come in because he was the only righty left aside from Mason Fluharty. The bullpen as a whole, though, in this series, unfortunately, aside from Tommy Nance, was electric. 13 in the third innings, only 1 run given up. That was the Tommy Nance run. Had to shut out Louis V again. Feels like we're doing this every single pod, but you just have to because Louis V has been that good this year. 0.9 ERA on the season. He gets 7 outs to record 2 saves in the first 2 games of the series and strikes out 6. 6 of the 7 outs he gets are strikeouts. Go watch game 2 if you didn't see the ending of game 2. Bottom of the 9th inning. Louis V comes in, 10 pitches. See you later. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. I don't care. Wilson Contreras, Wilyer Abreu, whoever's in that lineup, they could not hit anything Louis V was throwing. The changeup, the fastball, the knuckle curveball, couldn't hit anything. 101 on the black. Changeup is filthy. I don't know what more to say about the guy, but he made the Red Sox look silly. I know they're bad with runners in scoring position. They can't hit as a whole. Wilson Contreras is supposed to have a 950 OPS and be a really good hitter. I'm sorry, Louis V made him look silly. Made him look like he was a 200 hitter, like Trey Turner. So Louis V absolutely shut them down. The bullpen as a whole, unfortunately, aside from Tommy Nance, great in this series. I don't know what more you could have asked for.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like big time, man. And Louis funny because he loves his saves and coming in the ninth with the lead now. So much so that when he comes in like a tie game or a non-save situation, kind of like gives up a few runs, kind of doesn't perform like
Yep.
we now expect. But now when he comes into a save situation, oh, it's like the unstoppable Louis Varland. So I think that's kind of funny. Like now he's
Yeah.
like married to the closer role. Um, yeah, super shutdown, and not even just Louis, but like even SWR yesterday. I kind of grilled on SWR before the podcast just because it's a bit of a tough watch. It's not he's not a whiff machine. It's some pretty bad location, some hard hit balls,
Ugh.
and throw some luck in there, and you get a shutout, scoreless outing. So, but he pitched like okay yesterday, and gave us some solid innings, and Spencer Miles pitched well yesterday. But then Tyler Rogers,
Yep.
back-to-back outings. He's just so like shut down in the eighth inning. It's awesome. And then Jeff Hoffman even looked good. Coming in the sixth and seventh inning, I think in games one and two,
Yep.
and then Mason Fluharty getting his second recorded save of his career, and John Schneider unloading
Ugh.
all-time quote here right before we're recording this podcast. Aiden's looking on Twitter just seeing if there's anything else, and so John Schneider had this to say about Mason Fluharty. He's what's the polite way to say this? He's got a lot of competitiveness in the
Oh,
right spots of his body. I love it. This is
yeah.
material stuff. This is banner stuff. This is what like college boys have on their dorm walls and on a poster or something like that. This is great stuff. I love this from John Schneider, and hopefully the bullpen keeps it going.
A kid's listening out there, earmuffs, earmuffs. Translation: He has big nuts of steel. Out there is what Mason Fluharty has. I'm sorry, that's just what the translation is. That's what the boys are going to say in the clubhouse. That's what he's got. He did it. Remember, his first save, career save, was against the Dodgers last year. Could there be a more pressure situation there against Otani and Betts with the bases loaded to close out that game? No, and he got the job done. The pressure isn't exactly the same here because you're coming in against the Red Sox, not a great hitting team. The bases are not loaded. Again, you're not going up against the Dodgers, but still, there's basically no one left in that bullpen. It's Cheese Dallas. Like, that's it. If Cheese Dallas can't pitch, we don't have Tyler Heineman to pitch anymore because he's usually the first guy we go to position player wise. Like, who, Ernie was going to pitch or something? Like, we had literally no pitchers left. So he had to get the job done. And again, made quick work of a Contreras, of an Abreu, some of the guys that are supposed to be the better hitters in the lineup. I think he flashed a changeup actually to Contreras that was like 88 in the corner. I'm like, where did this come from, Mason? He finally figured it out. Because again, he was always the cutter sweeper guy. If he figures out that changeup and throws it consistently with all the innings he's thrown this year, I feel like guys eventually could get on the cutter and the sweeper if that's all he's got. They're both moving the same way. He can throw 90 innings as a reliever in a season and be effective if he has a changeup, which he showed today against Contreras. Again, a guy that's been absolutely destroying lefties this year. And just like Louis V yesterday, getting the 3 outs and 10 pitches, I don't think it was 10 pitches for Fluharty, but it was very good efficiency. Got him out of there in what, 13, 14 pitches? Huge. Love the Schneider quote after the game. Shout out to Keegs for that one. He's always got the great quotes from Schneider after games. And again, the entire bullpen, Jeff Hoffman. Like, as much as again the things we've been saying about Hoffman this series, a couple of scoreless appearances, right? He wasn't available today, most likely as well, because of 2 back-to-back games. It's been a while now. It's been at least a week, maybe more, since Hoffman's given up a run. I think it was against the Orioles when he gave up that one solo shot and he was starting to get the boos. Just keep doing that. I think the ERA is down to like a 5.5 now. Keep working on that. I just need scoreless appearances. Coming in the sixth. It's not a bright spot of the game. It's the sixth inning, the seventh inning. Okay, that's all we need from you. We got Louis V there. We got Tyler Rogers there. We got Fluharty there. We got Braden Fisher there. That's all you got to do. Just be the sixth inning guy, seventh inning guy. So huge to see him do that. Unfortunately, talking about Tommy Nance, I think we did say this before that when Jimmy comes back, he's the odd man out. You could say Cheese Dallas could be the guy because you just brought him back. But again, if Max Scherzer isn't going to be here and we don't know exactly the timeline for Shane Bieber, I feel like you need another bulk guy, which would be Cheese Dallas. So is this the end of Tommy Nance? I don't know, because I think Jimmy comes back. But I'm actually curious on that now. Where would you go? Would you go Cheese or would you go Tommy Nance when Jimmy comes back? Because I feel like I go Tommy here.
You got to go cheese, right? I think you just got to go cheese. It just makes all the sense in the world, right?
Yeah.
You got the options. SWR is like and him have the same role. You just put cheese
Yeah,
down.
I guess.
You just spend some more time looking at SWR, see if he has anything else, and he'll leave eventually. And I think maybe Miles takes his role, or Miles is more of a leverage guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, when Jimmy comes back, I expect Cheese to be optioned and Tommy to stay for a little longer because Tommy does have value. He just has some stretches where just doesn't really have it. So I expect Tommy to get back on track and expect Cheese to be sent down when Jimmy comes back up.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I kind of want to see Cheese up here. It was kind of fun while we saw him with the Braves, right? But I guess if you have SWR and Miles, it's kind of the same role. It's just how long is the leash, I guess, for SWR? Because if he has a couple of outings that are sort of blow up outings, you just DFA the guy. There's no optioning him, right? So
Yeah, but
with
also Scherzer. I didn't even think of this. Scherzer went to the
oh
IL. You got to fill
yeah,
another rotation spot. Maybe then you have to keep Chad up to fill innings because SWR just pitched today, and who
yeah,
knows, like Scherzer's spot could be coming up in the rotation soon. So from that standpoint, I could see Tommy being DFA'd just for innings.
yeah. Again, just a guy that always works in low leverage, right? Like I remember last year when we started him, brought him into a game against the Reds when it was a pressure situation and he just couldn't get it done. It was like his first save opportunity. Look at, this series against the Red Sox, game one, he gives up a couple of runs there and you make it a tight game and now Louis has to come in and you have to use his arm. Whereas maybe if Louis doesn't have to pitch in that game in game one, he's available game three today, right? You're not relying on Fluharty at the end. So it's just tough with Tommy when you get to high leverage spots. You don't really feel great with the guy. Again, another one of these guys like a Heineman, like other guys that contributed to the team last year that were valuable pieces. Just long term, is he a guy that you can trust in the bullpen? I don't know. When you think of the circle of trust, obviously Louis there in the circle of trust. Rogers is there. Hoffman maybe creeping his way back into there. He's not really there yet for me, but he's creeping back into it. Fisher's still in there. Fluharty's still in there. He's never really in that circle of trust, right? In the bullpen. I think Jimmy is a guy that can very well easily enter that within like a week of being back with the Jays with the stuff he has out of the bullpen. So it'd be interesting to see, like, does Shane Bieber need another rehab start? If he does, probably Cheese Dallas stays up, right? Because then he'll probably fill in one spot and then maybe go down. So I think it's more so a question of when Bieber comes back and then they make the corresponding move and when SWR eventually falls off the rails as well. Because I just feel like that's impending at some point. Like you said, the stuff isn't really great. Yeah, he's thrown 7 innings as a J with no runs given up, but his fastball is like 88, 89, and the command isn't great. So I feel like if we have a blow up SWR outing as well, he could be gone. And then what are you looking at? I guess Tommy Nance and SWR are gone. Cheese Dallas and Shane Bieber are back. Or Jimmy Garcia, actually. Jimmy Garcia and Shane Bieber. That's a pretty good replacement, actually. Jimmy and Shane for SWR and Tommy Nance. So if that's the way it plays out, I think I'm okay with it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, SWR has not shown me really anything to be attached to him. He's just on the team for innings, and then once
Yeah.
Shane comes back, which seems pretty soon, I'm good to just send SWR with Tyler Heineman, and that battery would be electric in LA with the Angels. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, we can do that. You know what? Let's get to the series struggles right now. Let's just start with that because I had this in here. Not a lot. It's a series sweep. Again, we haven't had many sweeps this year, only two. So we're not going to talk a lot about the Blue Jays in terms of their series struggles. One of them is Tyler Heineman, like you just mentioned, with the LA Angels. Not so much a struggle in terms of what he's providing to the team because he's not on the baseball team anymore. He was finally shipped out to the Angels. I think we just got back cash considerations, whatever that means. I never know how much money that actually means. Does that actually mean any money in a trade like that? I don't know because again, he just wasn't providing really any value to this team. Unfortunately, the things he did for us in 2025, the BABIP was crazy. I don't know how he had like a 270 average and a 2B WAR or 2F WAR, whatever he had. Great in that 2025 run, but again, with what Valenzuela was doing behind the plate, the writing was on the wall. He just could not continue as the backup catcher on this team. And you have a couple of guys at least that you can rely on somewhat at AAA if there were to be an injury, knock on wood, to any of the guys we have now. Heineman goes to the Angels. I'm okay with that, to be honest, because I kept hearing rumors of, oh, he's going to go to the Yankees because they got what, JC Escara and Ali Sanchez is there. Ali Sanchez kind of actually killed us when he came in the Yankees series, had a couple of good games there. And I'm thinking, of course, of all places, Heineman's now going to go to the Yankees and just watch, he's going to kill us. He goes to the Angels. Go to the Angels, have a good time there. I know they're not a great baseball team. Mike Trout is there. Have some fun on that baseball team. Thank you for everything you did in 2025, but unfortunately your time was up. And yeah, like I said, just go have some fun and with the Angels and maybe SWR joins him, like you said.
Yeah, it just is what it is. Like
Yeah,
you could see it coming with Heineman, and it was either him being DFA'd or getting traded for a
yeah.
new Apple Watch. Like I don't know. Like
Oh,
so yeah, cool stuff that Heineman hopefully goes to win some games with Alek Manoah and Yusei Kikuchi
oh,
over there, and yeah, good stuff, and some more serious struggles. Just about the Blue Jays, just the base running. Game three, not the best base running wise. Like Ernie Clement's base running on the Valenzuela one, good base running. It was also with two outs and the ball was hit. Like the ball's hang time was like 20 seconds. It was just hanging in the air. Um, but also, yeah, it was good for Ernie to score there. Besides that, Jesus Sanchez um, tried to advance to third. I think there was one out, and so if the ground out actually happened, Jesus Sanchez would advance to third, which is not a big difference from second to third with two outs. And
Yeah.
so he tried to advance. IKF got him at third, and then there's a guy at first, and you take out a runner in scoring position. Who's the guy on first? It's Ernie Clement, and what does Ernie Clement do after that? He gets picked off. So a very poor sequence by the Blue Jays, and,
Yeah.
and what was the top six, I believe, top of the sixth inning, and yeah, not good, especially when Sonny Gray's near the end of his outing, and you think you can scrap a little more out of him.
Yeah, we unfortunately turned IKF into a demon in this series. And of course, he's the guy that got Sanchez out there. Actually hit pretty well in this series. I don't know what Sanchez was doing though there. Yeah, like he's not a great base runner to begin with, obviously, in terms of instinct, in terms of sprint speed, all that. And as much as he's a happy guy, like I love that he's happy all the time, but let's be smart on the base pass. You just don't go when the ball's on the ground to the left side of the infield. You make sure it's to left field. I don't know. Maybe did he forget it and just thought it was two outs, something like that. It's just a blunder that happened. Again, there's a reason why we don't have a lot of serious struggles here because it's a sweep, but it is something notable. Just that sequence. I think it's the sequence as well because Ernie immediately gets picked off. It's just not, again, a great way for that inning to go. It was like the seventh or eighth inning at that point. So that's tough. But again, it's a minimal thing. I hope he doesn't continue that. The only other series struggle we have in here is about Boston, actually. It's not even about the Jays, because again, the Jays were pretty good in this series. If we haven't talked enough about how bad Boston is offensively, how does 1 for 29 with runners in scoring position sound? I couldn't believe actually when you mentioned that to me before the pod. 1 for 29. We're talking about the Jays in this series. The Jays might go 5 for 32, 5 for 27, something like that. And 1 for 29. That is horrific. And you know what's actually the most surprising thing to me is how loud Fenway was every single game. And I think it was only because of the Scottish football fans, right? That is the only reason. What is there for the Boston fans to cheer about? Absolutely nothing because the team sucks. If it weren't for those fans, it would just be let's go Blue Jays chants the entire time. So shout out to those football fans actually for providing the energy in those three games. But other than that, there was absolutely nothing to cheer for offensively for the Red Sox.
Yeah, yeah. As you said, I think the World Cup is like the only highlight going on in
That's it.
Boston right now. I
Yeah.
just the Red Sox. I think the whole city's really out on the Red Sox right now. I think since Alex Cora got fired, but
Yeah.
holy smokes! Yeah, I was watching the end of today's game, and they flashed a graphic on Sportsnet, and it just said 1 for 24 with runners in scoring position. Holy
Oh,
smokes! Like that is
God.
insane. And then I look it up at the end of the game. 1 for 29. Like what the heck? That is abysmal. And so I'm not a big Red Sox hater. I like the city of Boston. Very nice city, but like the Red Sox, I'm kind of indifferent about. It's the Yankees really for all Blue Jays fans. Like, oh, I hate the Yankees. Yankees
Yeah.
suck. Fans are just not fun and annoying. And so with the Red Sox though, like last year they were supposed to have firm control over the division for the next like 10 years with their prospect capital. You
Yeah.
have Roman Anthony, the big one, uh,
Hmm.
top prospect in baseball, Christian Campbell, another guy, Marcelo Meyer, another guy. That's like that's your perennial superstar outfielder. And then you got like you're up the middle, bats right there when Trevor Story's done. And like awesome, awesome. So extend Christian Campbell, extend Roman Anthony, and holy smokes, like Roman Anthony's health problems are very concerning. It's setback after setback. Marcelo Meyer does not seem to be like he's kind of like the Jackson Holiday point right now, like just not really doing anything, and it's kind of weird, but just getting figured out in the major leagues. And Christian Campbell's not even in the
No,
majors. He's in the minors. I don't even know what he's doing at AAA. He got
bad.
extended last year, and so that's not good at all. I love it because it just seems like it's a huge setback. It's a huge
Yeah.
setback. If you get Crochet, Crochet goes crazy last year. You got Sonny Gray. You do some more things like Johan Oviedo. Sure, like maybe he's good. He hasn't done anything, and so yeah, like really weird, but it's a good weird. I like it. So unexpected, and yeah, and I guess like Driveline has had something to kind of do with this. I've seen like Driveline has been a big part of their front office and big part of a lot of players' development. And I'm a huge analytics guy and love the content Driveline puts out. But it seems like they've kind of set back the Red Sox organization. Don't know if they're in like they're the reason why. Is it Breslow or is it like so many fingers, so many people you can put your fingers at for what's going on in Boston right now. But what was supposed to be, say, like the winners of the AL East are looking like by far the worst team in the AL East, and a lot of that is injuries, but
Huh.
very disappointing for Boston fans and great for Blue Jays fans. Like
Yeah.
nice to see this.
That's actually an interesting point because the last couple of days before Vlad hit the home run, obviously, and all the talk of the All-Star game and all that, I was seeing a lot of people online saying like Vlad needs to go to Driveline, like just figure something out. The launch angle's not there. I don't know, the bat speed, whatever. The Savant page is just not looking great. Go to Driveline and figure it out. Maybe that's not the solution. Maybe not. And again, maybe just listening to David Popkins will work because obviously, like you said, it's obviously not working for the Red Sox hitters aside from Contreras, but then again, Contreras didn't absolutely do anything in the series, so it didn't even work for him either. So yeah, as much as I may have said before about Aaron Judge snapping his leg and all that, I really don't want guys to have injuries like that. Listen, I want Roman Anthony playing because it is better for the game of baseball, and it might be a tougher matchup for the Blue Jays, but I want the best players on the field. And yes, as much as I hate Aaron Judge as well when he's killing our Jays, it is better when he's on the field. I do understand that for the game. So don't want any of these guys to be out for an extended period of time. Hopefully Anthony comes back at some point because, like you said, I don't know what's going on there. It's like the Barger thing, right? It's just constantly delay, delay, delay. That's
Anthony's been
actually
out
perfect.
forever. Oh my goodness.
And that's actually a perfect segue into our last portion here of the injury news. I'm just going to fly by through these quick because I know we talked about these a lot. Scherzer to the 15-day. We talked about this before. Just wrap it up. I mean, I think you got to call it at this point. Just retire, man. Become a pitching coach. I don't know what he's going to do for this team. He goes to the 15-day. Jimmy's most likely back against the Cubs. Shane Bieber, like we kind of hinted at this, is his next start with the Jays. Does he need one more? 5 runs given up in 5 innings. Not great, but again, the fastball is like 92, 93. Okay, pretty good signs there. We'll see how that goes. Barger again, the delayed rehab. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I thought he was supposed to start a rehab this week. No, now it's next week. The most interesting one, though, that I want to focus on a little bit here, not for too long, is Anthony Santander. I can't believe we actually got Anthony Santander news after this series. We sweep a series, vibes are through the roof, and then, an Anthony Santander update. That's new. I haven't heard about this in a while. So, where has he been the last couple of months? I don't know. Enjoying the sun in Venezuela, I guess, in his hometown. But we finally got some news on him. Is he back in August? I don't know. Starting a hitting progression, basically going through spring training in the month of July. And then if he's back in August, like he's not even in the picture in my mind on this baseball team. What in the world are you doing with this team, assuming that Barger's back and Santander is back? Like Pinango's obviously gone at that point. How in the world do you fit him into this roster? And then what is Lucas gone or is Schneider gone? Like how do you fit Santander and Barger into this lineup? It's a little tough. I don't really see it right now.
Yeah, I totally forgot he existed as well. Like I don't see a fit like
Yeah.
really at all. But from a pure viewing and fan experience, seeing an outfield of Anthony Santander in left and
Oh.
say Jesus Sanchez in center and
Oh.
Yohendrick Pinango in right, what would make my season
Oh.
no matter what the Blue Jays record is. So like just adding on to that, like I don't know. I have no idea what his fit is. He's a DH. George Springer is your DH. He's your like bad fielding, good hitter guy. That's Jesus Sanchez, really. Like I maybe if Jesus Sanchez is underperforming, you give Santander look and you send Pinago down or something. Like I don't see a fit. I really don't. I have no idea how the Blue Jays would employ Anthony Santander if he's healthy or yeah, I have no idea.
But you're also not trading that contract at the deadline, right? Because who wants that? Absolutely nobody wants that Santander contract. So,
Unless there's a salary floor next year in which the Miami Marlins want to take on an Anthony
uh,
Santander contract. So
didn't they take, what was it, like Avisail Garcia or something like that back in like 2021? And the guy did absolutely nothing and then rode off into the sunset. It's not playing baseball anymore. That kind of looks like the trajectory for Santander. Just go to one of those crappy teams, kind of die in the last couple of years of his career, and then just ride off into the sunset. We'll see. I don't know. Like, again, the 44 home runs with the Orioles, was that just an outlier? I don't know. If you could find even 30 home runs in that bat, I would take it. But you're right. The fit is just tough on this team. It's not a lot right now. It's just news that he's starting to swing a bat. It sounds like the old Addison Barger news that we've been rambling on about here for about a month. He's swinging a bat. Okay, well, Barger's been swinging a bat for a month, and he didn't have shoulder surgery like Santander. So I'm honestly not expecting an August return. I'll be honest. It's probably a September thing. When you get the extra guy on the roster, right? I think you get it up to like 28 guys or 27, something like that. Maybe they just add him there and he's just like a 2-3 day a week kind of guy. I don't know, ease into it a little bit. Like he came back for the playoffs last year. I think we forget he was there for the playoffs, didn't really do a whole lot, and then got injured again. So if he does anything, I think it'll be September, and they'll figure out a way at some point to have him in there. Let's go to the forecast though against the Cubs. We touched on it a little bit. Probably of these next 4 or 5 series coming up, the toughest series. Nonetheless, looking at the pitching matchups here, Kevin Gausman versus Ben Brown. I mean, has been great this year. It's not a guy you really think of that's having a great season. A 1.74 ERA this year. Patrick Corbin versus Colin Ray in game 2. What a pitching matchup. 2 guys with like a 5 ERA. And then Dylan Cease versus Shota Imanaga in game 3. Shota started off the year great. His ERA is almost up to a 5 this year. Like you said, Cubs pitching, not great. Like they really just don't have any guys that are firing in that rotation. Cabrera as well, who we're not going to see, is also not doing well. Jameson Taillon was one of the worst starters in the league when he was there, and then now he's injured. So you know what? It's tough for me to say sweep. It's tough for me to say sweep because, again, when you look at game 2 and Corbin versus Ray, I just think some of the Cubs guys could tee off Corbin. I hate to say it. I just think it could happen. I will go 2 out of 3. I say you win the Gausman game, you win the Cease game. The Corbin one, I'm 50-50. You could win that one, you could not, but I'll stick at 2 out of 3 and you win the Gausman and the Cease games.
yeah, some favorable pitching matchups in my opinion.
Yeah.
Ben Brown, a guy who was a two-pitch pitcher, um, and I think was closing games for the Cubs at some point this season with Daniel Palencia down,
Yeah.
and so they mixed like Caleb Tealbar in there
No.
with Ben Brown. I think that's what they're going back to now because Daniel Palencia hit the IL again. But Ben Brown added another pitch, and it's the sinker. And you're going to see a lot of the sinker because he's been throwing a whole lot of that, and it's been effective. That's why his ERA is so low. That's why he's just been performing the way he has been. Shota, I feel like the velo is always the problem for him. Like it starts off good, and he has a good first month of the season, and then it just dips. So yeah, like, but with that, Kevin Gausman versus Ben Brown, I like that. I like that, right? Patrick Corbin versus Colin Ray. Let's get a little crazy. Let's say we win that too. It's a funky pitching
Okay.
matchup on a Saturday, the eve of Father's Day,
Yeah.
and Dylan Cease versus Shota Imanaga. I like that pitching matchup too. So what is that? 3 straight really good favorable pitching matchups, which means 3 straight wins. Let's
Hey.
let's get a
Okay.
series sweep here. Let's go 2 sweeps in a row, 2 games over 500. Electric stuff.
2 games over. So if we take 2 out of 3, it'd be 1 over, I guess, right? So at minimum, you're getting over 500. That's where we're leaving it at. Come out of this Cubs series at minimum, be 1 game over 500. Again, working the optimism into me a little bit. And if they get 2 over and sweep a series, I'll be over the moon. Like that'll be 6 straight wins, right? So keep riding the vibes. The vibes are through the roof right now after beating up on the Red Sox, getting a series sweep. Yohendry Pinango back in Chicago after the Nate Pearson deal. Let's see if he can have a bit of a revenge series. Go for a series sweep. Again, at minimum, take a series. Keep riding the vibes. We will check in with you after the Cubs series. And as always, go Blue Jays.